Once, in a quiet little village surrounded by tall mountains, there lived a 24-year-old young man named Marco. Marco was always restless. His mind never stayed still. From morning to night, countless thoughts ran through his head. They made him feel tired, uneasy, and unhappy. He often thought about his past with sadness and worried endlessly about the future. Because of this, his mind felt like a constant storm. He couldn't relax, he couldn't sleep properly, and he had even forgotten how to smile. One day, Marco heard about another village far away in the hills. People said that a wise old man lived there. Long ago, this man had been a well-known psychologist in the city. In his later years, he left the busy city life behind and settled in a small, quiet place close to nature. Sometimes, when visitors came to see him, he shared his wisdom. Hearing this gave Marco a spark of hope. He thought, maybe this wise man can show me how to find peace. Without delay, he set out on a long and difficult journey. Many days later, he finally reached the hillside village. When Marco arrived, he noticed a small house covered with plants and greenery. On the porch sat the old man, peaceful and calm, his eyes gently closed. Marco walked up to him and spoke softly. "Grandfather, my mind is very restless. I cannot stop thinking. I want peace in my heart. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes, smiled warmly, and said, "So you are searching for peace? Then come with me. I will give you a small task." He led Marco to the yard and filled a glass completely full of water, right to the very top. The glass was so full that even the slightest movement could make it spill. Handing it to Marco, the old man said, "Walk from here to the edge of the village and come back. But remember, do not spill even a single drop." Marco was surprised, but he wanted to succeed. He carefully took the glass and began walking. The road was narrow and crowded. People passed by, some walking, others running. Shopkeepers were calling out to customers, and dogs barked loudly nearby. But Marco kept his eyes only on the glass. Step by step, he moved slowly and carefully. The villagers noticed him and were curious, but no one disturbed him. They knew he was learning something important. At last, Marco returned to the old man and said proudly, "Grandfather, I did it. I didn't spill even one drop of water." The old man nodded with a smile and asked, "That's good, but tell me, did you notice the children playing by the roadside? Did you hear the dogs barking?" Marco looked surprised. "No, I didn't see or hear anything. I was only focused on the glass." The old man's smile grew gentle as he said, "That is the lesson. The secret was always inside you, but you never realized it. When your mind stays in the present moment, there is no room for fear, no confusion, and no unnecessary thoughts. You are only thinking about the water in the glass. In that moment, your mind was completely still. You were not sad about the past. You were not afraid of the future. That stillness you felt, that is peace." Slowly, Marco began to understand. This was exactly what he had been searching for all along. True peace doesn't come from the outside. It is already within us. We only feel it when we live in the present. With gratitude, Marco bowed his head and said, "Grandfather, now I understand. If I want to calm my mind, I must keep it here, in this very moment. That is when real peace appears." The old man smiled again. By then the sun was setting, painting the ground with its last light. Birds flew back to their nests. Marco began walking home, but he was no longer the same troubled young man. Something inside him had changed. Now he carried peace within him because he had learned how to quiet his mind. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this one. Thank you for spending your time with us. See you in the next story with new lessons and fresh thoughts. Until then, stay well and stay peaceful.